and played some smart cricket in that short stay.
Well bowled. And there's the experience of Karan coming through. I mean, he was not ruffled, got hit for 2 boundaries, held his line, focused on what was under his control and got that wicket. So they are a very strong side, they're an experienced side, and that kind of showed in that over where he didn't get disturbed and was able to get the wicket of Surendra.
Yes, and at this level, it is that bit about holding your nerves, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And that's what I think Nepal has the edge over Singapore. It's the experience of playing bigger games, bigger teams. Their players play a very high standard of cricket, and that's going to come in very, very handy to them in this game.
Driven down to mid-off, dot ball.
I like Sopal, the way he comes in and sets himself up. He's got a very nice run-up, nice throwing, and a good last stride. You can see by the carry he got on that ball and surprised Rohan Rangarajan. He is one of those deceptive quicker bowlers. They don't look very big. They're just, he's not that big, but he comes in, he bowls a heavy ball.
Yes, that last ball surprised me as well, the way it kicked up.
Well bowled and well played for 1 to 3rd man.
Yes, dropped his hands nicely on that one, Rohan, and I feel he's this approach of wanting to take the single and get off strike. If everyone has that throughout the game, it'll definitely help Singapore well, especially as the 4th ball is about to be bowled.
Tim wanted to go for a single there. I think he lost sight of where the fielder was behind the non-striker and quickly retreated back to his crease. Very good, another very good over shaping up by Sopal. He's bowled really well. He's been the pick of the 2 bowlers so far for me. Although I know it's Karan who got the wicket, but he's steaming in, he's hitting the deck hard and bowling a very good line.
Yes, not giving an inch. Played nicely by Tim around his legs for that single. That run that Tim wanted to take earlier, I was mentioning the other day when he got run out with Surendra at the other end. It's also that he's just recently joined the squad. Most of these players they have played with each other over long periods of time.
Well bowled.
Indeed.
He did it for pace on that one, hurried him, and another leg by. Couldn't come down quick enough on the ball. Rohan?
Yes. But yes, that run out side of it, as I was mentioning with Timothy, and I think that's possibly also something to do with it. I mean, he obviously is keen to get runs, keen to get off strike, but when you don't have that much experience of playing against each other, does make it that tad bit harder, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, this game is played a lot between the years, and it's all down to what you're thinking and the mindset. In the meantime, Karan comes and bowls.
Pitched up nicely. There's still about 3 overs of the power play left. At some stage, you would expect them to try and hit a couple over the top.
I would just focus on playing good cricket. Again, it's a bit like short boundaries, and you know how they can entice you into a false sense of confidence. I think power plays. I'm sure there's data on this somewhere, but if we actually look at it statistically, you'll be amazed at how many wickets are lost during power plays, simply because the batsmen are trying or over trying. And batting is best when it's reactive, when you react to a situation, or you react rather than try and, unless you're the likes of Viv Richards or other. Now he's playing his approach from a few years ago, and you look at the change in the quantum of runs that he's making and the consistency. So they've got to keep the power play out of their minds and just focus on good batting. It's still a long way to go. There's 17 overs almost left in this game. That is 100. That's about 9. A lot can happen between now and then. It usually is also the best opposition bowlers that are bowling to you in the power play. So that in mind, you got to know which bowlers you're going to pick on, who are the ones you're going to score off. Do your homework. Good single by Tim there. I like this approach where they're dropping the ball and taking singles. It at least keeps the scoreboard ticking.
Totally agree. I mean, as much as you want to see as an audience boundaries being scored, if you're not going to continue to rotate the strike, it is always going to hurt you.
Well, the other thing is, if it was all boundaries, nobody would want to be bowlers then, right? It's you got to give credit to the bowlers when it's due. They're bowling exceptionally well, and they've really got these two batsmen tied down. And it's a game where you give respect to the situation, the opposition, and you wait for your turn.
Oh yes, I mean, and like you were mentioning just then as well, you have to go after that fourth, fifth bowler. There is going to be somewhere those opportunities you're going to get for those loose balls. Okay. Rohan wanted to try and swat that over square, but got a thick inside edge. He wouldn't complain though, I'm sure.
He'll take the 4 runs, although he would have probably wanted that to go through covers, which is or long off, or wherever he was trying to hit that ball. I'm not too sure, but it's a welcome boundary for Singapore, and they should just ease the nerves a little bit. It also tells you they fancy Karan more. They've taken more chances against him.
Again, tried to drop that ball into the pitch to run a single. Fielded well by the Nepal fielder at short cover.
I reckon the fielder would have run the batsman out by just walking to the stump had they gone for that run. But good over for Singapore. I think that saw 6 runs coming from it. Not much to talk about in terms of a run rate yet, but these two need to consolidate, get their eye in, and once they're in, you think they'd get a move on from there.
Yes, and and you do want to do that. I mean, Malaysia the other day in the match when they lost those couple of quick wickets against Singapore, they lost that momentum. They were in two minds and didn't go for runs at all, which didn't help their cause. Folks, this live telecast of the match being brought to you exclusively by the Singapore Cricket Association and WEC Sports. There's a lot of effort and planning that goes into bringing this to you guys in your lounge rooms, and we certainly hope you will stay throughout the game and bring your friends in by sharing the link as well on your Facebook pages.
And the player we were all talking about, Sandeep Navin Chane, coming into bowl now. It's a very good run by Rohan. He backed up his partner really well. It's very easy taking the good runs for yourself, but when you do it for your partner, that inspires a lot of confidence.
Oh yes, it's very well said. It's something. In fact, my son plays, and I always say to him, don't go to the danger end when you're running.
Spoken like a dad.
Yes. Another single. They just keep motoring along those singles. I think it'll go a long way as I keep repeating it. But also a way for the ball to be bowled.
It'll keep them in the game. It won't help them win it, but it'll keep them in the game. This is a very, very experienced and a very strong Nepal team. Navin Chane is a very seasoned experience compared to the players on the field. He's played with the big wigs, and that will reflect in the confidence that he brings to the ground.
That was a bit of a hopeful appeal, I thought. Was definitely going down leg, as you can see in the replay here. So I'd love to hear nicely played by Timothy behind square for a boundary. As you see in the replay there.
He just pulled that down too much, Navin Chane, and Tim latched onto it instantly. The previous ball was a little more pitched up, and that's where he had him in two minds, and that allowed appeal. And again, well bowled.
Well bowled and well played.
And well played, yes.
Young Timothy is definitely one to not mess about. He wants to keep going. You can see from the approach. Very nicely played by Ranarangarajan. Straight down the ground for a 6.
That's a much better shot than the one he tried 2 balls ago, where he tried a bit of a slog sweep. If you are going to play a bowler of Navin Chane's class, then you need to be doing that well. You can't be losing your shape against him. A really good shot, stepped out and dispatched that. That would probably go for 6 on most grounds.
And that will also give him a lot of confidence for this innings as well, taking on Navin Chane. As the over is about to switch over, I will now take a short break and ask Sharon Swaminathan to join zoom in for the next few overs. We'll see you back in a short while, folks.
Thanks, Cash. Hey, Zubin, how you going?
Hi, Sharon.
Interesting start. Singapore would be happy with the start?
Absolutely. They're doing 7 and over, almost in the first 5. You're against an opponent who is ranked higher and a strong side. Definitely a good start, and need to continue from here.
As we can see, Basant Rigmi, left arm orthodox, coming into ball. Tends to bowl a bit slower in the air, trying to tempt the batsman to play. And Timothy's gone over mid-on for 4 of the first ball, looking to put the pressure on the bowler straight away.
The 2 shots, the 2 boundaries that Timothy has played so far, he's known exactly where the fielders are. He knew the long on, the fielder at mid-on was up in the circle. He didn't try to hit it too hard or go for 6. He just wanted to get it over the fielder, and that's exactly what he did. Smart batting. It'll be interesting to see how the bowler responds to this.
Bowler's moving his deep square leg to a car corner, looking at that shot. Probably wants to target Timothy's pads and flight it in so he can tempt a slog towards car corner. That's interesting. That's the second time a bowler has done this already.
Yeah, it's an old bowler's trick to sometimes see what the batsman does as a trigger or a movement. I don't think it's always done because the ball is going to slip out of the hand. Smart bowlers do it. And that's another beautiful shot by King David. He has creamed that through covers.
He certainly looks on strong, and it's really important if Singapore wants to get a good total around the 190 mark, which is what has been sort of predicted in terms of score for this wicket. It's key that Tim stays to it till the end.
Yes, it is, and he plays his cricket in Australia, and we all know the type of cricket they play in Australia, which is good, hard, aggressive cricket. And what he's done here is he's taken the challenge to the bowler in the first 3 balls. Good batting, getting off strike after 2 boundaries in the over. Smart play. It's an interesting field. Rigby has said he's got protection on long on and deep mid wicket, and that means he's really got to keep the ball in and around middle stump, which is okay given that the ball is new. But we saw that shot go through covers, which was a ball that sort of flighted and pitched way outside off stump. So he's got to be very careful of his line and make sure there's no room given on the offside.
Again, Basant trying to tempt Rowan into a big shot there. He's actually got the long off back and mid-wicket, and he's hoping if the batsman goes for a big shot, he would get the leading edge too long off.
Yes, he did that. I think he did that for Rohan, where he got the long off back. He had long on and mid-wicket for Tim.
Pushed away towards car corner for a single. Basant Regni, a very experienced campaigner for Nepal, been playing with them for a long time. One of the key members in assisting Nepal towards ODI status. He's an experienced campaigner, certainly gone for runs off his first over.
And I'm sure he's got a few tricks up his sleeve. He won't be done by this 1 over. The batsman may have gotten the better of him this time, but it's important that, and there we see in the last ball he beat Rohan all ends up. experience counts. It always does.
Looks like Lamichane just had that one over, and they've gone back to Sompal Kami, who opened the innings for Nepal with his bowling. He's a pretty skiddy character, bowls around the 130, 135, click, and tends to skid and rush the batsman a bit. Does have a decent bouncer as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes against Tim Davids.
I like Sompal. I like the way, I was saying this earlier, I like his approach to the wicket. It's very balanced. He gets good momentum as he comes in, and he's got a good action. He looks balanced. Just a little open-chested, I think, as if he rotated himself a little more, maybe he'll get a little more movement both ways, but otherwise he looks really good coming into bowl.
Yeah, he's that typical rhythm sort of bowler. When you know on his day, he runs in really well, everything's going towards the batsman in terms of energy, hand, legs, entire body movement. You know he's going to certainly create some trouble. Played nice and late by Rohan, but straight through to the point fielder. One thing really impressive about Rohan, especially during the start of the innings, Zubin, is he tends to play the ball really late and tries to nudge it around towards that point and backward point area for singles, which is not an easy thing to do, but he sort of mastered that art of opening the batting and just trying to rotate the singles as much as he can.
Indeed, and which is why you see against the spinners on the two occasions so far, he's got that slog sweep that he tries, and I don't know why he does that, because he's such a good player coming down the track and playing a conventional cricket shot. You see he likes the ball coming onto the back at the beginning, but he's a good player technically, and just the odd time, and that becomes his downfall on a lot of occasions where he tends to give his wicket away, but otherwise a very, very good prospect.
That's extremely well fielded at fine leg. Put in the dive, really quick outfield. Ball was absolutely racing away to the boundary, and he's restricted the batsman for 2 runs.
Very good cricket all around. That was a short into Tim, and he did well to play that towards back and square leg, and great fielding on the boundary there. Certainly saved 2.
That ball would have usually been at a batsman's throat unless it was Tim Davids, where it was just at his hips.
Oh, cracking shot.
Absolutely caressed through backward point by Tim. He backed away, gave himself some room, and hit that through backward point. Fantastic shot. He certainly looks like he's on song. He's coming with that attitude and that intent this innings. Singapore will be looking for him to go big. I was talking to the CEO of the Singapore Cricket Association, Mr. Saad Khan Janjua, and he mentioned Tim and the SCA have been in touch for the last 3 to 4 years to see what was his... Oh, that's full toss down leg side, pull, tickled away, straight to fine leg for 4. That's what pressure does to you. As I was mentioning, Zubin, Mr. Saad mentioned Tim and SC have been in touch for the last 3 to 4 years to see what Tim was looking at from a career pathway standpoint, and when the opportunity arose for him to arrive here in Singapore to represent the nation, and he qualified, it sort of aligned with regards to SCA's interests as well as for Tim. So it's great to see that something like this has worked out.
Yes, and this is credit here goes. I think it's the ICC and how they created the qualification. One is you're born, and they just want more teams.